Hi, Lorraine here from Jada's agency. So this is part 3 of the series on how to build a lead magnet funnel using high level. So in parts 1 and 2, we had gone through a checklist. Yeah, so this is how I've gone through the checklist. So if you just make reference to the videos and the playlists, how to create a lead magnet funnel using high level. So in part 3, we'll be looking to cross off the other things on the checklist. So we have built out the opt-in page and the thank you page. So that's the opt-in page for our relationship coach. She's giving away this free relationship handbook. Yeah, so that's our created our opt-in page, and that is our thank you page where she's congratulating opt-ins. And as I've mentioned before, the thank you page is a very powerful page. Everybody lands on the thank you page that opts in. So it's good to leverage this thank you page. And she's done that, telling people about her Facebook group, YouTube channel, and this is her exclusive coaching program, which she wants people to join on the waiting list for. So that's what she's used this thank you page for. So like I said, leverage your thank you page. So the next thing for us now is to do it on high level is to create the opt-in form. So as you can see on the opt-in page, we've created the page, but it doesn't have the form. And the form, looking at our designs, the form is where they are able to put in their name, their email address, and they are put in, once they subscribe, they are now included in our CRM, and then we can nurture them with the view to eventually sell to them. So we have to create the form. So creating this opt-in is by creating forms on high level. So let's do that. So on high level, you can go to the form section by selecting the form element. What we did here was we added the form element, which was that, added onto here. And then with this, you can, it says that there are no forms added yet, or there are no forms yet. So these are the different forms that we have on high level. I mean, the different forms that we have on high level, but we want to create a new form. So you can go to, if you go back and leave the sites, yeah, and if you go to sites, forms, builder. So with this, you can create a new folder, which I've done here, so we can be able to distinguish the different forms that we have on the system. I want to create a new form, and let's create this a new forms from scratch. Okay, so add form. And on here, the default form or the default template will be presented. So what we just do is let's give it a better name. So Palm opt-in form, or just Palm opt-in will do. And then we've got the first name. So based on the designs, we have enter your first name and enter your email. So on here, if you select that field, you can change the label to say enter your first name. So we don't need last name, so we can get rid of that. For email, the label says enter your email. Okay, we don't need phone number, we don't need this T's and C's, so we don't need the privacy policy and terms of service. So let's have a look at the at the design here. So I'll just increase that. Yeah, so enter your first name, and so the placeholder text in the field is first name. So there we go. And then the placeholder is email. Cool. The button says, it has a title that says get your free handbook now, prepare for a lifetime of love and happiness, is the subtitle. So if you click on the button, the text says get your free handbook now, and says excuse me, prepare. Oops, sorry, yeah. Let's move that there. Prepare for a lifetime of love and happiness. Okay. Time of love and happiness. Okay, so now, so basically we have done the form, yeah, but to make it align to our designs, we need to make some changes. So the font is Open Sans. So let's change the font of the entire form. So just go to styles and option. And if we scroll down to the bottom, here, first of all, you can make some changes. So we don't need the shadow. Yeah. So if you keep going down, we should see the label. So the label here is Open Sans. And let's change the text to 16, perhaps. Yeah, cool. And we also need the placeholder to be Open Sans as well. Okay, cool. And if you notice as well, the form, the field is a particular color, right? Okay. Okay, so the field is that color there, so we can copy it and put that, so that field on high level. So if you go to so that the field style, the background, so it's the field style that we're looking for. Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. So if you go to the background and let's change the color. Oh, sorry, that was the color of the that was the color of the form itself. So we don't want that. We want that to go back to white. Yeah, go back to white. We don't want a border. Let's change that border. Let's go back to white. So there we go. Beautiful. Okay, so we don't want a border, so we put that as 0. Um, let's see. We don't want any corner radius, so let's put that as 0. Yeah. Okay. So that's the width of the form itself. The shadow. We said we don't want any shadow. There we go. This is field style. That's form style, and that's field style. Okay. So the field is what we want to change. Beautiful. So that's the color. Okay, so the next thing to change here now is the button. So the color of the button is that color there. So if you go back to the button, change the button style. Beautiful. And then the button title and subtitle. So the button title is black and the subtitle too is black. Okay, so as the button, the text, we've changed that to, I think it was, the text was Montserrat. So the text on the button is, oops, change that. Okay, Montserrat. And I think it's a 16. And then we want the color to be, oh, we want the color to be black. Sorry, there we go. And then what we do want as well is we want to make it bold. So you change the weight to make the bold. You with me? So there we go. All right, so I just increase the weight. And then the subtext is also Montserrat. And actually, the subtext is not Montserrat. Subtext is Open Sans. There we go. Open Sans. All right, let's do that. So change that to Open Sans also. And let's that be 15. Okay, so it's coming together. Now, if you notice as well, the field has no corners. Yeah, so there are no corners on the field. But notice here there are corners. So let's say amend that. And you do that by going to the field style. And in the field style, first of all, it has no borders in the field style. It has no corner radius. Yeah. And let us increase the padding. So if you put that as 13, the bottom has 13. Yeah. And also let us increase the font size of the placeholder text. So you go to placeholder text and let's increase that to 14. All right, so it's coming together. It's coming together. Okay, so all right, so that's the form coming together. Yeah. Another thing we can also do is the button. I noticed as well the button has no corner radius. So let's get rid of corner radius and let's increase the padding of the button. I think 15 will do. There we go. All right. So that's our form. So Palm Optim form. Now we want to put this form. Let's save that. Let's save that. And now let's embed this form in our Optim page. Okay. So if you go back onto sites, funnels, I've got it in Palm Lead Magnet, and my Optim page. So let's edit that. All right, and let's add that form onto your page. So add the form. You can search for it. So it's called Palm. There you go, Palm Optim form. And this is how it looks. Awesome. Okay, so if we save that, let's save that. Okay. And yeah, so that is how to add the form onto your page. Okay. Now that we've done that, let's have a look at how it looks. There we go. Okay. So we can tick that off on our checklist that we've created the Optim form. The next step is we've created the form, we've added the form to the funnel Optim. The next thing to do is now optimize the pages for mobile. So this is a case of just making sure that on the mobile view, you are happy for how it looks on the mobile view and make the relevant changes in the mobile view. Yeah. So far we're happy with this on the Optim page. And you see your thank you page as well. So one thing, once you make this pages, make sure you check the mobile view that you're happy with it. Yeah. So I think we're happy with both pages on the mobile view and on the desktop. Okay. Now, once you've done that, as far as in terms of building your funnels on high level, so far is you've done that. Now, the next thing to do on our checklist here is to create the copy for the thank you email. So when the customer or your client opts in for your freebie or for your lead magnet, you're going to send them a thank you email to thank them for subscribing or to thank them for opting in, and attach the lead magnet to your email or give them a link to how they can access the lead magnet. So what we have here is a copy of a typical thank you page. Thank you email. There we go. Thank you email here. So on here, we've told them about this is the subject and that's congratulating them. And what we're going to do is we're going to give them a PDF link to the relationship handbook. And you can actually get this PDF link to the relationship handbook by using High Level. Instead of it's an alternative for using Google Drive or OneDrive. You can get the link to the document on High Level. And let me show you how to do that. Yeah. Okay. So on High Level, if you go to settings and if you go to media, open media library. Now, what we have done here is that we have uploaded the relationship handbook in this folder we created for Pam. So this is the relationship handbook that she is giving as the freebie. So once you upload it onto the media file, to get the link to this file, you just need to do is select it, and at the top here is the link. So copy to clipboard. All right. And so in your thank you email, and you want to give them a link to it. So you just need to do is to create that link, select what you want, and then put the link on here. Command. Oh, mistake. Sorry. Edit here. So you put the link. Command V. Apply. There we go. So whenever they select that, that is the link to the document. I'll show you. Do Command V on the browser. That is the document she's providing. Yeah. So you don't, if you have high level, you don't need Google Drive. You don't need Cloudflare. You don't need OneDrive or Amazon AWS. You can actually upload the files onto the media library on high level and get the link to the document and provide that in the thank you email. Some people attach the freebie as well as provide the link to the freebie in the email. While there's a school of thought around sending it, the freebie has attachments, only because if it's too large, Google may not favor it because it's such a large email. So that is why it's preferable to put the link on there. But you might put the link as well as attach the document. So it's entirely up to you. Okay. So yeah, so that's a typical example of a thank you email. And then she's given access to the Facebook group. She's also said to subscribe to her YouTube channel as well. Yeah. Okay. So we've got the thank you email, a copy of it. Yeah. So it's good to have these copies beforehand before you start building out on high level. So the next thing, back to high level again, is now to create the workflow and automation. All this is now coupling all together. We've built out the pages. Now, when they do opt-in, when clients opt in or customers opt in, what we want to now do is we want to create the workflow so that when they opt in, we tag the customers. So I just say here to include tag. Yeah. So we tag the customers. So that we know that, okay, they are the customers or clients that actually opted into this particular freebie. And then we send them the thank you email with the freebie either attached and or a link to the freebie within the email. So let's put this together, and this will work automatically. Once you set it up once in high level, it continues to work automatically. So let's do that. Let's create the workflow and automation for this lead magnet. All right. So if I go back, so to create the workflow, what you do is you go to automation. Yeah. Go to automation, workflows, and in workflows, what we can do is let's create a folder. I don't think we have a folder for PAM. All right, so let's create a folder. Let's call it PAM lead magnet. So this helps us to know that particular right, there we go. That's fine. That's it. PAM lead magnet. Okay, cool. So within PAM lead magnet folder, let's create a workflow. All right. So I want to create the workflow from scratch. So let's do that. But there are different recipes you can use. What recipes are like templates. We don't need to restart it or build it from scratch. So we have different templates you can just amend. But in our case, we're going to start from scratch. Okay. Now, what we need to do first is to give it a name. Okay, it's just a notification. So let's call it again PAM lead magnets. Okay, and what you can do is actually give it a better name. So if you have different freebies, so you can give it, you can name the workflow with a better name. So let's do that. So say PAM lead magnet relationship handbook. So now, so that we know that this workflow is specific to this freebie. All right, cool. So what we now want to do is, okay, we're going to add a trigger. So we're going to say that for people that submit that form, yeah, so the trigger, what trigger means is start this workflow when certain events, when something triggers, when something happens. And what we say is that start this workflow when a form is submitted. And what is the form? So the workflow trigger name is, so we can say the workflow trigger name is opt-in form submitted. And what is the form? The form is the opt-in, PAM opt-in form. Yeah. So once they opt into that form, once they submit that form rather, what we want to do is we want to tag them. Yeah. So what's the event that should happen? Tag them. So you can find your action here. So action is tag. So add contact tag. At this time we haven't created a tag. So what we can do is create a tag here. So let's call it relationship handbook. Yeah, let's name the tag relationship handbook so that we know that that particular customer or client opted in to the relationship handbook. All right. So write it there, add new tag. All right. So that's the tag. And then what we now want to do is once they've submitted the form, they've opted in, tag the customers, then send them an email. Yeah. And so that's it. Send email. So we want it to be sent from, in our case, Pam Mitchell. Yeah. And what we have done here is you put your from email. If you don't put any email, there's going to use the email that's associated with your account. So in our case, we have set up this already. So this is her email address, but obviously for you or for Pam, it will be specific to whatever you need. Now the subject, this is where it's good to already have your email prepared. So the subject for that thank you email, we already have that here, which is here. So we just take that and we copy it and paste it. Okay. We don't have a template. This is just the direct email there. And now, so this is the email body. So we just copy that, Command C, and then we paste it. Cool. So that's our email. And then we can make some changes to it. Yeah. When I want to change the fonts, type, size, we want to change the spacing. Yeah. So we can do that. Yeah. So select everything and then let's change the line height. So let's make it 1.5. Yeah. And if you want to change the text size as well, you can do that. But yeah, that's why it's so good to have the email prepared beforehand. So, and our link still remains, the link to the document still remains. Now, if you want to send it as an attachment, all you just have to do is here, add attachment. Yeah. So if I select that, and then I can go to the media file and add it as an attachment. But like I said, it depends on whether you want to add it as your freebie as an attachment as well. But the most important thing is that you provide a link to your freebie in your thank you email. Well, depending on the type of freebie that you have. Okay, so that's that. And all we just need to do is save that action. Okay, so that's it. So they've opted in, tag them, send them an email. And then what you might also want to do so that you know that something is happening, you might want to send an internal notification to you. Yeah, you might want to send an email to notify that, oh, someone has opted in, or you might want to send a notification on the system, or you might want to send a text message to yourself, say, oh, you've got an opt-in today. So, you might want to do that so you can know when someone opts in. It's a feel good feeling, or it's a good feeling when people opt in. Yeah. All right. So that's what you can do. Okay. So let's save that for the sake of this video. Let's save that, and let's not forget to publish that. Publishing means it is live. Okay. So cool. So in our checklist, we have created the workflow. We've included the thank you email. We've included the tag. So the next thing we want to do is to assign a domain to the lead magnet funnel. So a domain name to the lead magnet funnel. So all we do is to go to settings and then we go to domain. So at this stage, we've already added domains onto high level. Yeah, already configured a domain onto high level. And what we want is to assign like JJ22.com to that particular opt-in. or lead magnet. So if I go to the particular domain, click on these three buttons and I say edit, and here, what is our default page? Our default page here is this lead magnet opt-in, and save. Okay, so because we already have a redirect, anything that is j.digital.com will direct to www.digital.com. Okay, so let's we've assigned that domain to lead magnet. Let's test the opt-in. So in our case, let's go to j.digital.com. Boom, there we go. So that is our funnel live. Beautiful. Okay, and then we can test it, enter our email, get our free handbook, and then we have our thank you page. Beautiful. And the email will be sent as well. So yeah, so that's about wraps up the how to create a lead magnet funnel onto high level. So what I'm doing is I'm giving away these checklists, including the example emails, giving away the lead magnet funnels that's been built, the workflows, the automation that's already been set up. If you use my link below to sign up onto High Level, where you can actually get a 14-day free trial of High Level and before you commit. So if you want that, if you want this lead magnet and a plethora of other templates I've created as well, just sign up using my link using the onto High Level, and then I'll be able to get this across to you in a snapshot. Okay, so thank you for watching the video. And if you want to look at part 1 and 2 again, there you go. Have a look. All right. Cheers. Bye.